Do we want to come to order? I won't count on that thing.
At 1 o'clock.
I'm gonna look and see. Do we have, on the agenda, we won't pray or anything this time, right?
Right, we're
Okay. I have it
We're
here
just
with
rolling.
me, but I don't
No,
have.
I'm just talking about this. Make sure it's here, sir. Not right now, thank you.
Lots of good.
You need a copy,
Okay, I
Dixie?
have my, no, I have my agenda here. I'm sorry. All right.
You need one? Anybody else?
So these little tabs are all, it looks like the agenda. So Sarah, it's the Sarah show. Yeah.
Sarah.
Here's some papers that I've had from the time before that I think will be.
Thank you. Sarah, can I have one, Dick?
Sure.
Thank you. Got it.
There you go. And here's one for DJ.
Okay.
Okey-dokey.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, the first tab is, final computations. So if you flip there, that shows the basic state aid, funding that we will receive for FY '27. And like the last couple of years, I just gave you a breakdown of each year, so you can see how it's changed. Not quite as much of an increase from last year to this year. The increase in state aid funding is 137,849 for FY '27.
Gas, so eat that up one.
If you flip to the next page, and you guys know at any point if you want to stop me or slow down or anything, just let me know. The next page shows the basic state aid charter school adjustment, and this is just for you guys to see. The basic state allowance prior to that is the 12,962,000. Charter school allowance, 136,946 to get to our basic state aid allowance for county boards of education. And just just for curious purposes, if you look at the bottom of the charter school allowance circled there, I put the FY '25 and the FY '26 just so you can see how that's increased the last couple of years. It went from 18 million the first year in '25 when charter schools were created to 27 million in '26 to 35 million this year. However, we actually have two, if you flip to the next page, we're actually down 2 students from the prior year. So not sure if they came back into our schools or if they went homeschool or,
Did something else?
yeah, what might have
Probably
happened,
hope.
but we have 2 fewer of ours in the charter school system.
As of
But you don't know where they are.
when?
We,
You mean just for the whole year?
It's really hard.
Correct, is that
Well, they might
accounted in
be-
the enrollment, yes,
Charter
for
school.
charter school for 25, 26, yep, that's right. 26, 27, 26, 27. These are the comps for next year,
Charter school, just in charter.
just in
schools.
charter school.
2 more kids.
Two fewer kids, 2 fewer kids. They were in charter school and now they're not anymore
The virtual.
for our charter school count.
Okay.
Not all of these are, but like the 2 that we're losing,
Mhm.
students 2 is the Virtual Preparatory Academy and then the West Virginia Virtual Academy.
Those are the 2 charter schools we lose kids to. But when you say we have 2 kids less in charter schools now than we did. Okay,
It's down
just-
2, yeah,
Yeah, just clarifying what that means.
sorry, yeah, down 2.
But we're not sure where they went. I mean, you have no
I
idea.
mean, attendance could probably tell us.
Well, I don't know if they
I'm
can,
not-
they would have to go through every kid's name that we know is in
Yeah.
a charter school and then cross-reference it. I don't know that it would be easy to track those 2 particular kids. Probably would be hard. And we may not know because if they leave us and go homeschool or Hope, we maybe would have the name of the record there, but if they transferred out of state or something, you would never know where they are.
I have a question. Do virtual school students qualify for scholarship?
If they're not in our school, but outside of our school, is that what you mean?
Wait.
Well, anywhere in the state. If they're a virtual student, do they qualify for HOPE?
No,
No.
Okay.
no. Virtual students, if they're enrolled in public school, do not qualify for HOPE. No, if they're an enrolled student, they will not.
Okay.
But then they,
You have to be a homeschool student to qualify for the HOPE. So you have to leave public school system to qualify for the HOPE scholarship.
That's what I thought, but then again, 35 million.
now they can then choose a homeschool student who qualifies for HOPE. They can do
Can
like
use it to go to-
virtual platform out of like California or
Whatever.
something like that.
platform
They
they
can do a
choose to use.
virtual platform.
Yeah,
Or go
that's
to a
what
private
lot of
school.
the-
Or go to private school.
That's what a lot of them do.
Okay,
They do
but
that
The
subscription
people
stuff.
that we have enrolled do not qualify. Okay.
Correct. Our virtual kids are public school kids, just like our kids in the schools.
Okay. What the fuck? I don't want to be sure.
Sure. It's confusing because there are a lot of different categories
Oh,
kids fall
yeah.
into now.
So many, yeah. Well, if you look at the next page.
That's where it shows, Janet, that we're down to from the prior year.
Right. Right.
Then on the next page is the state computation comparison. I went through the different steps there just to show you what increased, what decreased, as far as our funding for the state aid formula. And I just compared it to the prior years to then show the difference, well, actually the current years, to show the difference. Between step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to get the total basic aid allowance in step 8.
Now, why in the world would our fixed charges be down, fixed cost charges be down
And transportation.
when, when gasoline and,
Well, our fixed charges are potentially down because we've been cutting positions.
okay,
And
but,
try not to use, like, that would be substitutes, that would be,
so your substitutes count out of fixed cost?
well, the fixed cost would be like your social security, your Medicare, your retirement, which subs wouldn't have retirement, but they would have social security and Medicare. It's also done on an average, so when we get funding for service personnel or professional educators, we're funded based on the number it says that we should need based on our enrollment at the state average. So depending on whether our teachers and service personnel are more senior or
Mhm.
less senior,
Yeah.
or,
I remember.
So we hire a lot of
I
new
remember that from
people.
Before.
You see
Yeah,
that drop.
and as far as the transportation allowance, the piece that dropped there was the maintenance and, repairs. So this is 2 years delayed. So if we potentially didn't spend as much in maintenance and fuel and all that stuff 2 years ago.
Sure, that would have been in 24, right?
Right.
Mhm.
What does PSSP stand for?
That's the student support personnel, so it's part of the certified
Okay.
list that we do, where it's like your nurses and your guidance counselors and your, CIS.
Psychologist, I think falls in there, right? Doesn't your school
Okay.
psychologist fall in there?
All right, thank you.
And then behind that's just all the backup to those numbers. Step 1 on the first page is all of the professional personnel. Step 2 is the service personnel. Step 3 is the fixed cost charges. Step 4,
Transportation.
So where are we with the bus fleet? How many buses do we have now that are over 12 years old? Isn't that when they quit paying us?
They stopped counting in the average yet. Do you
Oh,
have
I
that?
just,
I think it was 12, not this past fall, but the fall before. Always put that in the.
We
fall,
had
but I
one
can grab
more, we had one more spare, I know, than we were supposed to have. I mean, I know that's all just part of the same mess, but we had one more spare than the state said we should have. But they also told us that being a rural county with the number of schools and the travel that we do, we probably couldn't do without that extra spare also, because once you're like now, when we're taking trips and you have to have several subs a day because they're going to athletic events and field trips, you need that bus. So we just took the -5 points for having an extra spare than we were supposed to have and dealt with it, because I think otherwise, I think we were right where we thought we needed to be. Does that help?
Grab it. You want me to-
yeah, I just wondered where we were with it because I wanted to see how many buses that we're not getting anything for. Because we had talked about that and we remember we were going to get 4, but then we didn't do that.
That's when we were
because
going to
it would've-
lease, and then we thought it was just better to
less.
just put right back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab it, peppermint. Get rid of my chicken McNugget breath. I'm sorry, Sarah.
No,
I
you're
just-
fine. So when we went over this in the fall, it was 14 buses.
I was outside waiting
Oh,
for her.
okay, she's.
14 that were
Waiting for me.
older than 12 years.
And so we haven't gotten any more
I don't know if they've come in or not.
that we've
Mm-mm.
replaced or,
No, they were, where were, he told us at the last, was it the last meeting or the meeting before? They were coming in, but had to get their stuff done to them, right? They have to put the print on them and hook up the radios and all of that. I haven't seen anything out there. I haven't talked to him either specifically about that. But they wouldn't count when they come right now. When do they go on our fleet list? It wouldn't be till next year, right? Not till they're actually in service. So
As soon
even
as
if
we
we,
Put them in service.
He said
yeah,
they
so
would
even
be-
if we have them, if we're not running them,
they're
Johnny said they would
really,
be put into service as soon as we go.
Yeah.
okay, I don't
I guess if you
know.
did that, though, you'll lose almost a year. Right?
Might be better off to wait till July 1 if it works that way.
Well, you still get the same funding,
Yeah,
so you would just give it
Earlier?
Yeah.
You get it counted for this year? Okay, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
but the way that's setting now, we'll probably maintain 12.
yeah.
Because when we get these 2, I'm assuming you would put 2 out for bid. You get 2, you're gonna.
yeah.
It's almost impossible to have them all
Mhm.
where you're
within
getting
I was
that-
gonna say, you'd have to have a little slush fund somewhere
Yeah,
to
you-
pay for them.
That we
Yeah.
don't have.
Once you get there,
right.
I guess
Yeah,
you're
once you
good to
get there,
go.
you might be able to maintain it.
Yeah.
but
You could
otherwise-
maintain for a year or whatever you need
Well,
to
right.
do, or 5, whatever. What would you, how many buses we got total? Huh? I know you.
Well, there's what, 29 routes and 14 over. I don't know how many spares you have now. And there 29 routes?
28 or 29?
So you still need about 4 a year to stay within
Yeah.
a 12-year rotation.
Well, and see, the 1 year,
39 according to this.
Okay.
so we have
Is that what-
39 buses. The
Now, one
one-
of those is gonna, do we still keep? No. Yeah, 39.
If you could do 3 a year, you could almost catch up. Once you get there, but you gotta get there.
Yeah.
Well, right, yeah,
If we're 12, 14 behind.
yeah.
See, the 1 year, was it Dr. Dodson?
It was.
Dr. Dodson took the bus replacement money to use on other stuff so that we wouldn't go into a hole. And that was never, and that was when we started, you know,
But there were several years, did one year when we didn't buy any, or when he bought one?
probably.
Well, this year we only bought one, you only have money to buy one. Last year we got,
Two or three?
yeah,
Yeah, because they're so expensive.
I don't know, have we gotten three
And
since I've
they
been
never
here?
did give us. we
yeah, year before we
did
got
give
the
us the
three.
electric bus,
Yeah, I
so we
was
could
gonna say
ride
that.
on it.
We were really hoping for the value of that electric bus to help boost
I
our
was looking
fleet,
forward
but
to
we
the
never
ride
got.
breaking down on the mountain over here. So.
Yeah.
Well, they were all catching on fire.
Well, remember the one that broke down out at the
Yeah,
Kentucky mine in Tucker County and the coal miners pushed it or,
Yeah.
I thought that was very ironic.
retelling. Yeah, that's ironic.
And my friends in Cold State.
Yeah, yeah, it's like one bus.
It's my understanding that that's the one you see right along the corridor.
Mhm.
And I know this is off topic, but when you're driving out there, I was driving out to Canaan last week, and that little canyon that was there that was real deep, they filled it all the way up with coal. That's what they did with all the coal that. Yeah. Next time you head out there, look over there and see. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And then if you just look through there, that shows all the different steps, and when you get to the end, you'll see the step 9 local share, that's the taxes that come off. To get to our actual state aid allowance, which is just under 13 million.
So they say we need 18, but then they're gonna take off, yeah.
Under tab 2 is the projected net taxes. And I just gave you a breakdown again of the last 3 years and then what's projected for this upcoming year.
So in 26, that was the amount that we actually collected. I wonder what that projected amount was for 26.
No, this is the projected amount. That's the
okay.
projected amount. I couldn't tell you for sure what we've collected yet because we'll still get
It's
in
not
May's
open,
and
yeah.
June's. This is just what was projected
Okay.
based upon our levy rate sheet that we do, we put out.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's the projected amount. That isn't actually what we received yet.
No, and typically we receive more, a little bit more because we have to account for.
Right.
Underpaid and
allowance
unpaid,
and-
yeah.
There's only 12 pages in the paper delinquent this year.
It was in bigger print this year, wasn't it?
A little bit bigger, yeah.
I couldn't believe
We're
it.
up to send y'all. over.
Yeah, new job, get your tax collector hat on, go get our money.
Behind that, you'll see the levy rate order, levy order and rate sheet. At the last board meeting, you guys approved the proposed ones for us. It's been in the examiner the last 2 weeks. So the meeting tonight will be, the approval of the levy order and rate sheet. The numbers stay the same.
Who sets like on the counties, I know a couple pages ahead, why is Hardy County's 1.85% and someone like almost all the others are 2%? Do we set that or
They
that's
said, I'm 99% sure
county commissioners?
that for the,
State treasurers?
yeah, that they set that.
Who they, state, county?
I think your assessor and
That's what they're
commission
gonna
sets
use.
it.
Assessor is
Right.
what I was trying to think of, yeah.
Because if you had 2% as opposed to 1.85, that would be a little bit more money, wouldn't it?
Yeah, how do we-
And then Grant,
Well, yeah.
Grant counties is like maybe
1.5 or
4.5.
something, yeah, it's way lower.
But I was to say, if ours was 2%, that would be
That gets subtracted off though.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
it
Because
doesn't
it's the
gain any
local
more.
collection anyway. Mhm.
So 1.85 is actually better than 2.
Yeah, no matter how much they collect, you're still gonna get the same amount.
Based on the formula.
And then at the very back of that, you'll see the letter. We went through this the other day, we can get through it again, but the numbers are on the backup, the numbers are there. And then there's the, levy order for the bond that ties right back into the letter that came from the municipal bond commission. And then behind that, you'll see the letter from the state auditor approving. Because when you guys approved the proposed, I also had to send it to the state auditor's office for approval. And I'll give all that to you tonight too. They approved them, so now we just have to turn around and do the levy rate and order sheets. Moving on to tab 3, this is just a breakdown of the budget. I started with Fund 21 here for no real reason, but that's our bond. So the taxes collected, projected for that's the 1.6 million at the top. The, principal payment is the 1,465,000 and the interest is 175,169. The sheet behind that shows that breakdown, principal due and interest due to get to that total. Expense side of it, and the next sheet is the proposed levy rate again, which shows what we will receive from the taxes to pay for that.
We just paid off.
29. 29, right?
It should be 29, yeah, so if you look, the next sheet I did last year's, just to show you the balance outstanding at the end of last year was the 7.6 million. It's projected at the end of this year to be 6.2 million, in 26. We'll have a payment in 27, 28, 29, and we have to have money in there to at least cover 1 year's payment. So then if you take that payment as well, it should be at least a year early that we paid it off.
So what's this MBC service fees? Is that what they're charging us to do those papers?
To do what papers?
For the bond? You know, that lady lied to us and said that a local bank couldn't do that, and they can all do that. And she said, oh no,
Are you talking about the leases that we're doing with the energy savings?
no.
Oh,
It was with the school levy, the bond.
okay. I wasn't
Shoot.
around for the bond.
I'm gonna guess that this is what, it's just what they charge, because this one, everyone, like all the ones that I've ever looked up, there's that $2,000 charge.
A
So,
year?
A year.
So it's just like they're
So,
processing.
Yeah, I'm assuming that that's what the state municipal bond commission for holding your bonds
Yeah, the
charge.
okay, that's the state municipal bond commission.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know where it would be the original agreement, but
No,
I've never seen it
it was
before us.
many years before us.
Because I'm trying to remember. The lady that was here was a sister to someone that was in the legislature. Can't remember who it was, but she was telling us that, you know, that the local banks wouldn't know how to do the papers to do the bond, that we had to use this one place that.
I have no idea. I'm sorry. That would have
Oh,
been
that's
back in like
okay, and they-
2012, 2011. That's,
Yeah,
Well, me,
that was before me too. Long time. That would have been great. It's all up to you, Dixie.
yeah,
You're the only brain that was there at that time. Still here.
yeah. Okay. So what's IMB service fees? Oh, they're zero, so that's.
Municipal
no problem,
bond.
As long as they're zero. Now, we're gonna pay off early because our interest rates haven't been what they projected them to be on our mortgage. Is that because our interest rate was lower, or?
I would say it's just what we collected in that other account that's gonna be there to pay it off. And I would assume that most are paid off early because you have that
Holding
collection. You have
payment.
to put aside so much, like out of this payment, they take so much aside because you have to have up to a year's payment in there. In case something would happen, you can't make the payment, they want it guaranteed. So they buffered it this whole time through our payments, and right now we have almost 1.5 million in there.
So when you get to the end and have that last year left, you put that towards it and you're just finished.
So the alternative is it still funds or raised through the bond. So if there were things that needed to be fixed or renovated based on what the bond was originally done for, you could pull those funds out and use it for that.
So where do we see that number that's in the,
I can print it off for you.
in there?
It's on the Municipal Bond Commission site, the Western Municipal Bond Commission, under Hardy County.
That shows what we have?
It shows what they're holding on our behalf, yes.
So they pull so much out each year out of your payment, is that the way they do it?
And so they get to
It's-
hold on. Could we see it? I'd like to see, they're making interest on our money.
Well, it accumulates there.
Our
We're getting
interest
it.
accumulates.
Yeah, we're getting it.
Accumulates on our behalf, they have to hold it on our behalf.
Yeah, they'll do it.
They're not getting
Yeah,
it.
They're not getting it.
It would be interesting to see it, if it's, to see that sheet.
I mean, it looks just like this, but I can print that for you.
What do you mean it'll look just like what?
It's just like this, and it'll have the one line, like it just has one line on it that shows what is held on our behalf.
Is that
But
on
I
here
can print-
anywhere?
Mm-mm.
So,
Is it something you can do quickly?
so
Yeah, why don't you
Is
just go
that
get it?
One payment a year that we make for that, or is it monthly?
Monthly, but it's sent directly from the county, so we
Right,
don't
right.
We don't do it.
see it, it doesn't cross their year.
I wonder, so if they hold, so by the time you hit these, you said they hold a payment, 1 year's payment?
They take a little bit out of each payment that goes in and puts in that account because up front you have to have a certain amount in enough to make 1 year's payment. So all that accumulates with interest year after year after year after year. And then when you get to the end, whenever that's the balance that you owe, you can just apply that and pay it off. Or like she was saying, you could pull it out as long as what you're using it for meets what the bond was originally approved for. So if you needed to put repairs to Moorfield High School or East Hardy High School building based upon those things, you could put it towards that.
But it
My
could go to
suggestion-
Like Moorfield Elementary or Moorfield Middle.
No, it would have to be for the things that the bond was, one of those two schools. Yeah, and you'd have to go back to that original bond order and make sure it fit in that category.
And that was in 2012, 2011.
Yeah,
So did they,
Back in there.
I'm just trying to think in my mind how they did it. So we did the bond, and so at first they didn't have a year's worth. It took them a year to get enough to have a year's.
I don't know where the original deposits into that account came from. Because again, that was way before my time, so I've never dealt with a bond, but I don't know if they make you put up front a certain amount, or if you collect a year before you start actually building, and so that first collection goes into there. I don't know how that works.
We'll see if, is a levy just like anything else that, like if we'd pass this levy, they wouldn't start pulling money from it until
They would have started pulling money beginning
27 or
in
28.
immediately beginning in the July 1 fiscal year. It would start pulling on that, anything that's
So a
paid.
levy starts pulling right away.
And I don't know about a bond. She was asking where the original deposits into that account came from. Do you want me to make you a copy? Let me make you copies of that for everybody. Let me go run that through real quick for you so that we hand it out. Make look at it. Don't- that one.
Yeah. Well, I think we're probably better to pay it off early than to pull it out and spend it for something else unless it'd be a dire emergency, you know? It'd be robbing Peter to pay Paul. And the sooner we can get that off our back.
So a bond's when you borrow, and the levy is in excess.
Bond is like mortgage.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like.
It's for buildings, and it can be longer, like you can
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
bond for 15, 20 years, but a levy can only go for 5.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you'll see there the interest that's accruing, Dixie, is added to the table, to the setting in that account.
Pool investments interest earned. Thank you.
You're welcome. Flipping over, the next one is the revenue in Fund 11. Fund 11's our general account. These amounts are mainly estimated amounts. As far as the unreserved fund balance there is estimated, at around a little over $2 million. I bumped that up some from what we had originally said. One factor, we're gonna end up collecting a little bit more in the real estate taxes. Some of the encumbrances have started to close. We, on that energy project that we are doing in that bank account, it is accruing interest on that money that we're holding. And Grant County Bank agreed that we could have all of that. So there's about $200,000 in interest that has accrued in that account right now. And there's still 2 more months before the end of the year, so that's gonna add a little bit to our fund balance as well. So that's why I bumped it up a little bit there from what we had originally projected it to be. The real estate tax collections come directly from that levy rate sheet as we've gone over. We tend to collect a little bit more, so I cushioned, the amount that we typically collect above and beyond in that next one down, the $350,000. The bank interest, I bumped up to account for 6 months of that account in the new year. Earning interest on it as well. The interest on the real estate taxes that we get is the $500 that's there. The next one, the $36,800 is estimated, that's the school activities, so the reimbursement for travel and stuff that we pay on their behalf. The $16,600 is also an estimate, that is positions that are paid on their behalf that the individual schools ask for. It's not many of those, they're usually small amounts, but that's what those are throughout the year. Or if a group uses the buildings and pays for a custodian, reimburses for the salaries for custodians, cooks, or anyone that they may have used, that amount goes there. Below that, the $20,000 is reimbursement from other government entities. That's like our fuel tax refund that we receive back. We get a portion from using the P card. We get a percentage of that. That's where that amount goes. And then underneath that is $20,000 for other. That just takes in a range of things that happen throughout the year that don't quite fit in the others.
I have a question.
Yes.
I know we use the P card here, and we've talked several times about requiring the schools to use the P cards. Do they all use them now, or do we have somebody that still has a credit card?
I think we have one school that still has a credit.
Is that MMS?
Might be.
Okay. And then, so we don't pay our utilities here with the P card. But if we can,
We can.
and I know that's more work, but if we paid our utilities with the P card, that percentage we would get back, because utilities is a pretty large we would be bolstering that a decent amount. How big of a deal is that?
Will they charge you, you know, how they,
I mean, even if they charge you $10 to do it, you're talking like our electric bill's $5,000 a month. I mean, if you're thinking that percentage, what do we get 2% back there? I don't know if maybe it's more.
Well, it depends on how much you spend.
Okay.
The percentage changes. based
It goes
on
up?
if you fall in this range or that range or what range it is.
So it could bolster our entire percentage back on everything if we added more expenses to the P card payment. How big of a deal is that?
It's just, we can't set it up to automatically come out that way, so
Mhm.
each time you have to go in and do it, and they won't consolidate our accounts. So I think it's just,
So that would be
It's just
6,
tedious, I
7,
think.
8, whatever different accounts you'd have to
Yeah,
go
you
in
have
and
to
pay
log
with the
in
card,
to
just like you
different-
pay
yeah.
anything else online. But
It's
probably
just
worth
$6.
thousands of dollars, right?
yeah,
I mean, that would be a recommendation I would make. If you can make $10,000 a year, and I would imagine it'd be more than that. Probably,
how
mean-
much our electric bill comes down.
yeah. Well, that's true.
As
That's true. But if we haven't done
Doesn't come
anything at
down,
all, it
it's
would just be a,
energy.
it would be
long
worth
as
it.
they're not gonna charge us a percentage
Yeah.
or something to use it.
A lot of times it'd be
Yeah.
like 3% to use those cards on some of
Yeah.
your accounts.
But what she's saying though too, we'd have to run those percentages because if the more we spend on the P card bolsters the percentage we get
Right.
back on everything, if you're getting an additional
Yeah,
4 or
you have to-
5%, I mean, it would certainly be it'd be worth looking into because it might make you a few
So they
thousand
charge
dollars a
you
year.
for the P card?
I don't know if they
You don't
charge
know.
you.
Some sites charge you though, if you're using like a credit card versus a bank account.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure
Like-
Allegheny County
Right,
does do
but-
that.
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
P card,
They pay us, like the reward, kind of like the rewards thing. We get paid a percent of what we use it for.
okay, so there's no annual fee to have that P
Yeah.
card, basically, like there are some credit cards.
Yeah.
How many electric bills do you get for the whole county?
Or we could tell you that, but I think it's like.
everywhere that has a meter.
15.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
might
say
be
down-
more than that.
Or do they hear?
It might be like 15 to 20.
Okay,
Yeah, and for whatever reason, we have contacted them several times about consolidating it all in the same account, and they say they can't do that. So it's logging into every single one, which I'm not sure why it has to be like that. But we have had numerous conversations with them
About doing it.
about having one login and then seeing all of the accounts where they could just total it down and you would have one.
One bill to pay.
Cause you could have easily 2 meters at a school.
Well, yeah, like we have a
Maybe-
meter separate out at the cannery, the weight weight
Uh-huh.
room has its own meter.
Right.
And
It's
the
all,
field house.
Yeah, yeah.
Anywhere
Right.
there's
Meter.
a
right, there's
meter.
multiple meters. But it would be worth checking into, just using that P card is there anything else expense wise we could put on the P card to increase that percentage that we're getting back to just,
Water and sewage, that's a big bill.
I don't think they accept today, the town.
well, I'm not on town. I'm Hardy County Public Service District. Yeah, they do. I pay mine by text now. I just type one all and it pays it automatically, but I know we can't have it saved online, but I know you can go in and pay it that way or even call or heck, you could probably mail it in with the card number on it, but I know that you can pay it with your card. Yeah. That would
And
be a lot
what
of money.
school is it that's using a credit card?
I think Moorfield Middle still has a MasterCard if I'm remembering correctly, just because of that whole trip with the robotics. I think they didn't have a P card, so they came to use ours, right?
Well, that was in 25, but
Did they switch
might
over?
have switched over
They
by
might
now.
have.
I'm not sure if East Hardy High School does though. I'm
Okay.
not sure they have a P card. I think they might still be on their credit card.
They might need to move
make
over
sure
too.
We need to make sure because what they're doing is they're saving that whatever rebates you get back for whatever credit card it is for themselves. And I mean, I can't.
Well, they
blame
would
them.
get it
Well,
anyway.
we send it out to the schools anyway.
Yeah, they would
What
get
they
their,
spend,
with the
we
P
send it
card, we
back.
would get their percentage back. We wouldn't keep their money, but
So they'll tell you, I
It-
thought
it
you
breaks
said
it
it
down.
in, it does, okay.
yeah, so we could do that, but the P card, I think the percentage is higher on the P card if I'm correct. If they're getting anything back on the MasterCard at all. We'll figure it out,
Are
but that'll be
they,
something to look into.
are they paying what kind of things?
Travel, hotel rooms, booking like the
stuff
robotics
that we
flew.
would take care of normally?
No.
No, stuff
No,
they're
this
doing
is
on their
stuff that's
own.
paid at their level.
Yeah, their own
It's not
expenses.
stuff that's paid here.
Okay.
Like when I took FFA trips, I would take the card to buy fuel or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are
If I didn't
schools.
get a fuel card from you guys.
Right. So it depends on what kind of trip it is and if it's, if it would have been through us, probably if we were paying through CTE money, but if it was a trip he was taking through the school, like let's just
Yeah,
say
like
it's a
if I
rewards
use
trip or
just
something.
FFA funds,
Right, then you would take your
that I
school
raised
card,
Myself, then
Yeah.
I would use,
the school card.
Okay.
that way there's a record of it, because
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You said on the school activities, that 36,000, that's for trips and things, did I understand you said
Yeah,
that?
that's traveling.
Okay. Oh, do we still bill them for their athletic trips like we used to?
Yes, we bill for the,
We bill
Driver.
for the driver.
You don't bill mileage or anything like you used to then?
because we really shouldn't have been doing
I mean, I guess we could do,
You
we wanted
what?
to be.
Well,
Shouldn't have been.
years ago, we gave them
that,
like
because we were getting it back in.
7,500 miles free and very seldom ever got over that. You just kept track of your mileage a little better is what it was, what you were using for trips or,
Well, it's something that we could look at
Mhm.
as a revenues. I mean, you hate to have to do that, but
well, that always burned my craw.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
really-
I paid you guys,
And then we
and
did.
then we
then
got
a
it
year
back.
later, you got paid back 90 or
Exactly.
95% of the state,
Yeah.
what I paid you, and I never saw a dime of that.
Yeah.
okay.
I always argued with previous administrators over that. I'll put it that way.
I think
Yes,
we
you did.
realized that.
Yeah, because we get 90% of that, yeah.
95, 'cause
So
we're
that's why I was
sparse.
gonna say, the most that I would feel comfortable doing is billing them the 5%.
Well,
The
right.
difference.
Right.
That's,
I just, that aided me and now I'm keeping names to myself. But I'm
We
telling you,
stopped-
that really,
We stopped that
Yeah, a
Yeah.
long
a
time
long
ago.
time ago because we were like, that's
was like-
probably not legal. I
Well,
think
it's
was
just
our
not right.
initial. It's not right, and then it was like,
It's not
we
right.
shouldn't be doing that.
oh, we used the money.
Making
now
money
for
off the schools.
Other
yeah.
school activities. What about my activity, you know?
Yeah.
So,
We got her fixed.
the, down, I think we're at the bottom, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. The basic, state aid there is the amount that's less the step 7A. So if you see that amount plus the step 7A, which is the 12,540,000, which is on the 5 per year. There's no real, I've yet to find a really great way to do this. But I put the one there. So if you flip back 1, 2, 3, 4 pages
You're saying back? Do you mean forward?
forward,
Okay.
Yes. I think it's the back of the book.
I know. To the 1 and the 3. Is that what we're looking at?
It has a 1,
One and a
it
three.
has a 1 and a 3. on the corner. So that shows you the amount that from the state, the net state aid to be budgeted as unrestricted. So if you put those two together, it equals the 12,540,000. And then step 7A just has to be budgeted separately, so you'll see it on the next, at the bottom of the next page it starts. And then I try to label each one of these. So the next one is the 990,000, it's on the page right behind that one. That's the total, retirement allocation for budgeting purposes.
Hold on a second.
Has a 2 beside it, right on the page.
Oh, okay, I have, yeah, now I'm with you, okay.
No, I don't think she did right.
And then the next down below is the charge on behalf, that's the 136,000 that we have to. We don't actually get it, we just have to, the state says they're giving it to us and they say they're taking it away, so we have
That's
to
for the
show it
charter
as revenue.
schools,
I'm gonna give it back.
It's fun how they do that, like it shows revenue and then shows an expense.
for the charter schools, right?
Right, which is also
On the other page.
on the page. Below that is the, 153,061. That's the OPEB portion, of the PEIA allocation for the year. Below that one is the retirement allocation, 1,791,732. Back up to it is also behind there, the following. And then below that is the other part of the PEIA allocation, 2,744,199.
Now, is that what they collect from you all to pay the insurance?
That's what goes on our behalf. So as Peggy pays it throughout the year, she takes it off of what's on there allocated for us.
Okay, so she subtracts it from this number for the whole year.
And they'll typically adjust it throughout the year, once at least. The state redoes the number and we'll have to adjust it. Below that is the National Forest Land payment. So last year, we didn't receive any money for the National Forest Land. This year, we received a check the other day for $121,000, I believe. So
2 years worth.
I don't know if they increased the percent they've done
Like you say,
in the new
usually-
legislature.
Like 70 or 80.
It's around 80, yeah, so I'm not sure what happened there. So I estimated that at 100,000. Down below that is the indirect cost from Fund 61. That's the, each year we have to validate our indirect cost rate. Get ready to do that in June, and that's the percent that we can charge to the funds, the federal programs, that are in Fund 61. So like your special education program, your Title I, this past year it was 3.77%. It's like an admin charge that we charge those programs, and it gets put over into Fund 11.
Which county gets the most national forest money? Pendleton, Pocahontas, or
One of
Randall?
those two.
Like you say.
I think
They
it might
get
be
a lot.
Pocahontas. I think
Yeah.
honestly, it might be
Probably
Pocahontas.
several 100,000.
Yep.
They need to fix the records. The national forest.
Below that is the Medicaid payments. Hopefully we got all of that straightened out, with the annual cost report, and that will actually hopefully be more than 200,000 this year. Because we took a big hit on that. And then below that starts the step 7A.
What are you billing Medicaid for now?
We have salaries in there, for teacher salaries. The rest, that would probably be special education question. They send all of that information to the billing to Epic, who handles our billing for Medicaid.
Okay,
So there are teacher salaries in it, you said
So on
also?
the cost report that, where I enter the salaries, we have teachers in there. And then we also have what we pay to Epic for doing the billing in there as well.
why do we have teacher salaries in there?
We have teacher salaries because they said, that, I guess, back when they used to have aides in there, that they didn't respond to the random moments, and they were having issues getting them to answer those questions. So we moved professional, positions in there and moved the service positions out.
And so evidently they're answering their random moments.
Yeah, we
How
discussed
Would
it.
believe
many
so.
do you have?
We discussed it several times. How many positions are in there? Maybe 20, I don't know off the top of my head, I'd have to go look at the reports. The downfall to that is you don't get reimbursed as much for a teacher, and that's been the discussion the last couple of years. But they tell me that since the aides do not have a planning period, do not have any time like that they can respond to the random moments, that we put the teachers in there.
And those 20 are counted in the formula also, those teachers?
Yes,
Okay.
But they're.
but the reimbursement is very low.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering what the amount was.
In other words, you're saying it doesn't pay for their salaries?
No.
Not even close.
Well, if you're thinking
So would
20 and
that
then we're
pick
getting
up
200,000, that would give you a good
Yeah.
indication.
10,000.
Yeah, 1,000.
So
Yeah, 10,000.
who else could you put in there? And I mean.
That's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much it. We've had it every which other way, and getting them to respond even at the lower reimbursements better than the others not responding at all. And you don't know, it's not like you can't really discipline them for it because we don't know who gets them and when they're getting them. We just know that they're after the fact that these people responded or didn't respond. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think in the end that's going to be the
I
And
think we do know that. I think she gets some messages.
after the fact, like
Like
so-and-so
you
didn't
said,
respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't responded.
But they're already in there is what I mean, like they're already when we have issues with them, there's no way to can you take them out midway through? That's what I'm saying. Like we know who, but there's nothing you can do about them and you can't, it's not a job requirement, although it's absolutely an expectation. I don't know that you could write them up for that, you know?
well, is it a simple answer that they give, or is it?
It will say, if I remember correctly, it will say something like, on May the 26th at 2:15 p.m., were you at work? Were you working with a student? What activities were you performing? And you have to fill all of that in. And some people would get 2 a day, and some people get 2 a week, and some people get 1 a month. It's random. It's random, as they're called, random moments.
And they come
So-
from the federal government.
It's a pain.
It's just a
I don't know if
questionnaire or
it's an email.
email.
And you have some service that don't frequently check their emails, and then they'd go in late, and it's a whole, because you have to respond within, is it 24 hours, I think?
48.
48. Okay. What page are we on? I've lost my spot.
Yeah, I
Is it
know
step
we
7A at the
talked through
bottom?
the years whether doing Medicaid, anything is worth it. Because if the state's Medicaid funds are running low, they just say, whoops, we're not gonna pay you.
We certainly don't want to count on it, but we'll get whatever we can get.
Yeah. But it costs us to get it. You know, we have someone that's billing
Billing
it,
through
and
Epic.
then Epic gets their piece of the pie.
Yeah,
So
they do.
we need to kind of watch it.
Down below that starts step 7. We use, there's an amount there, for all the revenue coming in. And we usually, what we use those funds for are, we usually pay for the Spanish teachers, a couple EL teachers, textbook adoptions, instructional, supplies, academic achievements, and also, we usually put 5,000 in there for middle school CTE.
I have on my sheet that you had told us before, advanced placement or AP classes.
That's academic achievement.
That's academic achievement.
Below that is the bus replacement allowance for this upcoming year, $293,836. The backup to that is also attached, as well as the small amount we get for advanced placement, $6,809. And then below that is the step 7B technology allocation for this upcoming year, $517,221. And all of those numbers are attached behind. If you want to go through that and see the backup to those.
Well, that's enough for one bus, is all.
1.5.
Yeah.
So I guess one year you could get one and the next year you could get 2.
Yeah.
And
That's been normal over the years. That's about what you usually run. 2 1 year, 1 year. Hopefully you can build on it.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking about when we sold the buses, if that money went directly back into bus replacement. Years ago, it used to. You used to set that amount aside to add to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not much, but it would help.
Sure. I guess it would be the same difference as us just agreeing to pay the 30,000
Well,
or
sure,
whatever when the
it's- right,
time comes,
exactly,
just knowing. We
exactly.
could track it though and keep track of that money, so we were.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a spreadsheet or something,
Mhm.
something like
It'd
that.
probably be a good idea, so we could track what's coming in for the buses, so we know that when we're planning to buy, we can count that amount in.
Yeah, It just goes in the other income.
Right, yeah.
We could do that.
You really don't get that much from the used bus, do you?
We don't. And I'm assuming that we just always put it in other income because the bus allowance account changes by year. So you wipe it out, you'd always be
Wiping it, moving it.
removing it, so by putting in another income. But there's no reason we can't keep a spreadsheet starting of what's being collected.
Just be interesting to see.
The next part starts the expenditures for Fund 11. Just showing you that it
Getting
does.
us cold.
No, but you can adjust it. It's probably just blowing on you.
Well, I can't tell if any, like, I can't tell if that one's, if it's at 0 or if one of the numbers.
70.
Oh,
So
okay.
just shake it out.
I think it's 0.
Don't go too low.
I think it's 0.
It feels like
Wait,
it's
turn it off
0.
right now? Turn it up to 72?
Now, leave it running. I mean, turn it up. You gotta have
Yeah,
air
this-
moving.
We'll put it on 72.
You get stale air in here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be empty like someone else.
We'll wait, yes.
We'll wake you up before 9.
Gotta have some air.
And there's the expenditures, just to show that the budget does balance there on Fund 11. To look back to the revenue. And
now
the
what
expenses is
page, where are we?
29. Right here.
That's just all your backup, yeah.
I
Okay,
just looked through all the backup pages there that have the numbers on them.
7, 8, yep.
Here.
Ready to flip to 4?
You got a good bit left.
Not that far back. I thought we jumped a lot.
That number's-
I just want to put into these numbers, because that was all the backup.
Okay.
Should be right here.
Yeah.
That's right. 9, 10, low, keep going, Dixie.
There.
Good, drink water.
Oh, there you
Okay,
Fund 11.
And the total budget there is 29,078,194. Which if you look back, you would see that the revenues in Fund 11 match that. And that's all of our general expenditures. You see that, salary was the largest portion of that, probably about 80%, a little over 80%. Followed by maintenance and buildings.
Did school employees get a raise this year? Did they get a
They
raise?
will this coming year. Was 3%. I think.
3% for 2027.
Of the base salary or your salary?
The other average, state average.
State average. Okay. Would that pay for insurance?
Right, or does it go off the base?
Would that pay your insurance?
Say that again.
The 3%.
They pick an average. It's not actually 3% per individual.
The more you make,
They take an average and they take
Percentage
3%
would
of the
be
average.
less.
Nobody gets that. So it'll be like a flat
It was
2,500 or something, whatever.
It was $1,560, I think, for professional personnel, and it was $807.
Last time?
For service.
but did they have a big
This time.
increase last year in PEI?
Yes, no, yes.
year
Yes,
before
they have.
last year? Huge
This year's
increase.
only projected at 4% maybe? Yeah, it was 14 one year and like 12 the next. There's been
Yeah,
some
he
large
had raised
increases.
pretty quick, wasn't
Yeah, it doesn't.
he? Then he covered.
doesn't cover it.
No.
So you flip through Fund 11, the next one is Fund 51. That page says revenues, Fund 51 at the top of it. We currently still have 3 projects. These are our SBA projects that are still going on. The HVAC and MMS roof project, the security upgrade project, and then the elevator and flooring. I estimated these based on where we were currently, as to what would carry into the next year. So as far as the roof project, there's 1.3 million there of expenditures, and income from the SBA, and there's the 100,000 that we would have to roughly match, for the remainder of that project. Below that is the security upgrades, 800,000. Below that is the 75,000 that would be our portion, roughly to match that. And then the elevator and flooring, 200,000 with our match of around 35,000 to get the revenues in Fund 51. The next page just shows the expenditures, which would include the portion that's coming from SBA and our match for those 3 projects. To get to 2,510,000, which matches the revenues. If everybody's okay with that one, the next one is Fund 61. All of Fund 61 except for child nutrition, I did it separate. So this is the revenues of Fund 61. Special education never has their amounts out yet, so it will all be prior year. The number 1 there is the state amount for special education. They tell us to use the prior year when they don't have those amounts out. So currently, this current year was 76,040, so that's duplicated there. Professional staff development, the amount that we have to set aside for professional staff development is $8,940. The amount that we have to set aside for service staff development is $3,766.
And is that based on the number that we have employed?
It's based on, it takes, for professional staff development, it takes all of step 1, and then you take 1% of that and then divide it by 10. And that's the amount that you get.
Sorcery, Sarah.
And the same thing with the service staff the development, you take all of step 2
So dumb.
and do the same thing. And those are the amounts you come to. Step 3 is the faculty senate, or step 3. Number 3 is the faculty senate, 58,752. 4 is the mentoring, educational program, amount from the state.
The mentoring? You said mentoring?
Mentoring,
New teachers?
yes.
And now, how do they arrive at the faculty senate money?
They look at our certified list to see how many people we have in the positions that they fund that for, within reason. I mean, they won't fund ones, like, I mean, we can't be 25 over and they'll fund the 25 over. So the ones that we have that qualify for those positions are qualified to get the allowance for the faculty senate. And I
You
think
mean the
we-
number that they say
I don't think
that are certified?
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that they would, there has to be a limit on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that only certain positions qualify for the faculty senate funds, but we've never had an issue where we didn't get the money. So it can't just be based on pure formula, because we're over and everybody gets it, but not everybody in the formula
There's still-
counts. That's
right,
true.
There's still gotta be a limit. I'm sure there has to be a limit.
I'm sure there probably is.
Um,
But it's 500, right?
for-
Because is it
we
400?
only get- I think we choose to give it to additional faculty,
Okay.
right?
There are some that we choose to give it to that maybe would not otherwise qualify, yes. So for example, I don't know that like the EL teachers would qualify for faculty senate money. So is it if they don't have a classroom? It's in policy or code, right? Mr. Hines is nodding. There's a certain qualification.
Principals insist they don't get it, correct?
We do give it to principals and assistants, but I don't know that.
Librarians, I think.
Yeah, we give it to, I think we give it to all professional staff that interact with kids, to be honest with you. Like Marsha Hahn, for example. I don't think Marsha gets any faculty
Yeah,
senate
I
money
think you
because
have
she's a
to have an actual
psychometrist.
classroom.
Yeah. I
So
think
what
that's
do
right.
they do with this money?
Oh, they
A lot
buy
of
anything that
times
they
they'll
want
Put it together and maybe buy something,
or save it. Mhm,
yeah.
Yeah, we've done all the things.
mhm.
We always took a percentage. Like if you got
Put back in the
200,
pot.
We got 50 in a kitty. So
Mhm.
everybody donated 50 to buy a copier or Rizzo or whatever you need.
Yep.
Then, but we always, if we had staff that didn't get it, we would use
Pulled it
some
out
of
of
that kitty money to give them the same percentage.
Yeah, everybody gets it. I'm just not sure what it looks like on the other end, and maybe that's it. Maybe it comes out of the schools collected that they contribute to. Because that's why I was thinking it was 5 and everybody put 100 back in and they got the 4 in my mind. But
Did you
maybe
get
it's
any
4 and they
trouble
get
if you
3.
didn't Spend it after a certain period?
You have to request
Yeah,
from your
you
faculty
request.
senate to
Yeah,
carry it over
yeah,
year to year.
Because we had.
Yeah.
So
you can have thousands.
Like science teachers.
Yep.
when they want something like
Microscopes or-
$2,000,
yeah.
They keep it for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. They could buy rugs with it for their classroom or any type of
Furniture.
classroom
Supplies.
supply. Yeah, supplies, stuff that you wanted to use in your room.
Big help.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
it is.
I don't think anybody abused it, which it wasn't that big, that much.
Well, and then,
Yeah, I know.
you know, like Miss Rhonda would keep, I mean, a super sharp eye on
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're spending on. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
couldn't-
wouldn't get reimbursed if you spent on something you weren't supposed to spend.
yeah, yeah.
That is a good question, though. I'll see if I can find out if there's any limit. There has to be some.
The
sort of-
guidelines are in
But you can't
2510, I'm
have-
pretty sure. What to pull it.
Yeah. But I've never thought about it from that angle, whether you, like, if we had an excess levy and hired 50 additional teachers with that excess levy.
Is the state going to give
they're-
us
they're
money
gonna
for
give
it?
us
No.
Faculty senate for those 50, that's what I'm saying, like, if there has, I would think there has to be a limit there as to who.
Based on your certified list? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. See if I can find out the answer to that.
Um,
We're usually not there, so. Um, 5 on this list is the state, Title III funds, which is a small amount we get from the state for EL. Below that is the Title II, projected amount for this upcoming year. On the next page is Title I, followed by Title IV, and then that's the special education there, that one again, that we used the prior years. And then the last one there is Title III, EL, federal Title III EL. And all of the numbers, all of these numbers are behind, you're matching those numbers that were beside it there, if you want to see the backup to it.
What's the EHA point B? It's project 437, no, I guess they're all 437. The 655,309, what's that for?
The special education. That's the federal funding for special education. And below that is the federal funding for special education pre-K. The 22,558 is for preschool.
Hey, this is federal.
Yes.
Are those the only federal? Is that Title III?
Below that,
The
the 29,942.
Uh-huh.
That's Title III, yes,
Mhm.
federal funds.
It comes through the state.
So when did we start federal funds? I mean, I know that Title I's the state and Title IV,
They're federal. All the
Yeah,
titles
all
are
the
federal.
titles are federal.
So where it
Okay.
says through state funding restricted, I'm assuming Sarah's just talking about it comes to us through the state.
okay, it's just
That's
a
what that
pass
means. It's
through.
just a pass
Okay.
through.
Okay, so these are all federal.
Mhm. Got it.
And I should have remembered that all title funds are federal.
Yeah, they're, that 04511, which is the program function of that, it means through the state. Federal funds through the state.
Is it all filtered to the state? I don't know.
Yeah, nothing comes to us directly.
They're the,
Well, there's been a couple times where we had like those security things that came from like Homeland, that came directly from the federal government. But most all these programs come
From the
from the
state.
state. Federal funds that they receive that they then pass on. to
Now, do
us.
they determine the amount the counties get, or is that the state that determines that, the amount of federal money that we get?
Yeah, it's based on
Enrollment.
enrollment and then needs, certain needs and qualifications.
Mhm.
Some of it looks at our, like how we receive the free and
Your
reduced
special
lunches,
ed-
like
Oh,
that
yeah.
numbers.
Mhm.
Probably higher than some other counties that we have a high special ed.
Yes, we are like 24.5%, almost 25% special ed. To give you perspective, Pendleton, I think, was at 13 or 14% special ed. So yes, we are a higher
What
special ed
like
rate.
Mon County is.
Not sure. Not sure. I haven't looked at
Rebecca
that.
told me yesterday she was currently at 509 students for next year,
How many?
509. And that was without, I don't know how many more she said. but they were
special
still-
ed,
Mhm.
They were still testing, or had to test yet.
And like I said, anymore, they're not prorated like they used to be, like your MMI, you got 2.5 or,
yeah.
That's one thing we're trying to get reinstated through legislation
it should
is,
because it costs you more, especially ESL kids
yeah.
to, and I guess, are they classified as special ed?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No.
They sure as heck are though. I mean, you wouldn't.
Well, special ed would just be those with the disability, so just not being
Yeah.
able to
Oh,
speak the
yeah,
language
I
wouldn't
know,
qualify,
I
but
mean,
they're in their
they
own,
qualify.
they're in their
I
own
mean, the
category.
extra.
Yeah. The EL, they're definitely in their own category for the supports that they need. But
But does the state put ESL kids in a separate category?
we tag them separately, like they're leveled based upon their English proficiency. So when they take that ELPA and they get a 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, based upon how proficient they are, 5's really good. They're separated out that way, but we don't get any additional funding for them based upon that level either. We get this small amount of state money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
That's what we get.
smidge of money, and that covers supplies, the Navy.
Yeah, about a week of the teacher.
Yeah,
We have how many EL students?
200, right around 200. We were, well, yeah, we were about 10%. We're about 10, 11% EL population.
You
So,
get $5,000 extra dollars for those.
Yeah.
That's
and you have to think about that when you look at our personnel and the
Yeah.
formula. So we have
Yeah.
3 EL teachers. We did have 4. Those teachers have to be counted.
That wouldn't even
as
buy
extra employees.
a hand of a teacher.
And special ed's at 24%.
A little over 24%, almost 25.
Can you refuse to educate EL students?
No, sir. FAPE, free and appropriate public education. That's the federal law.
But do they have to be? No, never mind, I don't want to ask that question.
No, don't answer.
No, I don't want to ask that question, but I do want to ask this question.
Put you in jail, that's gonna get you.
Is there any
bail
way,
more.
for the EL services that we could get any additional funding from the main reason that we have so many EL students?
Yeah, I mean, their local businesses provide for us already the funding for our Propio, which is our translation service. They can be approached and asked to fund positions. That we've not done that, to my knowledge, to that level. And I don't know that they would, but you could.
But that is the reason that we have so many.
hmm You have to think
And
too,
you're giving us the need, creating the need.
they are creating the need. It also helps with our enrollment too. I mean, it's a double-edged sword
Right,
because
right.
those students
Okay,
also,
I see that. I
Yeah.
see that. But
Yeah.
we need them. They do come with additional needs, but we need the numbers too. So,
If you took those 200 out, that would be a big drop in
Would be.
enrollment.
would be.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
so where does it balance?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt looking and asking if, or
It's way this.
at some point asking if they would fund a position, if you're talking local businesses to support that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Flipping on past those number pages again, which is just the backup, where you can see where those numbers came from. We come to the expense fund 61. And that just shows the different expenditures, where those programs have been offset by the expenses associated with them. In the state, special ed, the federal programs, and then the federal special ed. And a lot of that I did the salaries and set the rest of it in reserves because, people are still working on the budgets.
So the rest will come a little bit early yet.
Any other questions about that? No? Tab 4 is just a breakdown, we've already talked about it, but here's a breakdown of the step 7A. The allocation was $680,528. You flip to the next page, you see where it has to be budgeted in GPS, it has to be budgeted there as well as in Weavis. So you'll see that 10,000, they call it contest / advanced placement. I'm not sure why we merged those, but that's 10,000 there for that purpose. Employment of personnel, that's where we pay for Spanish teachers and EL, some of our Spanish and EL teachers, foreign language and EL teachers out of that. Instructional supplies of $100,528, and middle school CTE supplies and travel of $5,000, and text $225,000 for this year.
Is that what the cost of the health and financial
Literacy.
personal finance textbooks are gonna cost us this year?
I have no idea what those textbooks will cost us at this point.
That's just total.
But that's just what we budget there, and it's usually about the same, so we try, like next year, EL.
We'll decide what we want next year for the following year.
Okay, so we're like 2 years away from EL, which is a big one, so your hope is that you accumulate some in that account that carries forward to cover the big years.
Okay.
Textbooks are really, really
All
expensive
right,
though.
so
Really
this is a question I was gonna ask this evening, but since we're at textbooks right now, are we buying just classroom sets this
Yes,
year?
that is correct. We just buy classroom sets.
Okay,
And how many is a classroom set?
It depends, usually 30, so that we have enough for every kid in the classroom and then some extras if somebody needs to check one out and take it home. But if you have, for example, like an AP literature class, might only have 10 kids in it. We don't buy 30 for that group. We would only buy 8 to 10. Because you can always order more if you have a larger enrollment.
and all of these have, online programs?
A lot of them have, yes, the availability online they can access on their iPads, correct.
So, but they can take the book home
If they need to, they can check out a book and take it home. Yes, like that's what the extras are for. They have to pay for it. Yeah.
Actually, they can take.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That and iPads, and they sure do. Sure do. Yeah, seats they tear up. Yep.
Like a seed or something.
Now, surely none of our kids will do
You
anything
see the
like that.
trend going back to textbooks.
And paper and pencil.
Good.
Based on research, yeah, that's what
I think research has
It's what the-
proved that we've made a huge mistake 20 years ago.
seems pretty common sense, doesn't it? But yeah, I do see that
But
going
you
back to
know,
that.
we keep reinventing the wheel.
We do. Got to have something to do, don't we?
As that wheel revolves.
Yeah. I do see it going back to that. Now, I'll tell you though, I don't know if it's going to be cheaper to go back to all textbooks than it is devices because
Yeah, textbooks are always-
they're so high. And then if you go to giving everybody one, you're going to have a real expense. But I do see it. I do see that being the case. Yeah.
I can remember when they used to have the students would have to rent. the
In the
books.
bookstore, Jay, you bought used books.
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
and they
Good old
said that
days.
that wasn't a free
When I
school.
started
It's true.
high school, they
Not
still
free
do
for
that.
everybody.
Right.
The haves and the have-nots.
I remember having to scrounge to find used books.
So,
for the kids.
probably didn't have
So
to
that
have
the
that.
grades to have,
Yeah.
So that I didn't have to expensive.
I wrote this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got his books and that's.
It was a good thing when we went to free textbooks as students and as parents.
Sure.
Maybe not as boards.
Yeah, yeah.
But definitely from the
Mhm.
consumer.
Remember that? too?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
The next page behind that just shows the step 7A revenue total of $680,528, so you can see that all of that was budgeted. The next sheet shows all the expenses in step 7A. On the second page there, where you can see the $680,528, all of that was budgeted.
Easy come, easy go.
Goes. The next tab is child nutrition. I started with just a recap of currently kind of where we stand. Revenues, and I did it through April because that was the last closed month since we were still in the middle of May. Revenues through the end of April were $1,181,458. Expenses through that same date was $1,675,261. That gave us a negative of $493,802. We currently have encumbrances, well, as of April 30th, we have encumbrance $718,528. The April reimbursement would not have been filed yet at that time. So it came in during May of $165,081. May's reimbursement, I'm just guessing, will be roughly $150,000. We should have a little bit for the first part of June as well, because I guess we'll have students through
Mm-hmm. The fifth.
the 5th.
Yeah.
That has capped that at $150,000, which gave us just under a negative $900,000. Now, she currently has, there's a small state grant that has almost 2,000 remaining in it. Another state grant that has about 2,400. The summer program, which we always
Mm-hmm.
move the funds over at the end of the year, has 62,000 in it, and the CACF program has about 83,000. It's hard a lot of times during the year to pick apart in a large order what pieces
That's right.
are for the after-school meals or the summer schools and look for that. So at the end of the year, I usually just carve over food expenses into those other categories to wipe that out. So with those taken into account, you'll also have two more, because April and May's after-school program funds are not in there either, so that's probably another 20,000. You would be looking at a little over 700,000. I don't think everything that she has encumbered is accurate. So right now, from last year, we had budgeted right around 740,000 as to be the cover, like what we would have to cover in there. So I think we're actually going to come out a little bit ahead.
Are you counting the summer food boxes that go out? I know
Yes.
you're including what we'll make on that and what it'll cost us. Okay.
Well, that won't happen. I mean,
Won't come back in till after, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's
No,
right. Even June's.
I'm not accounting for any of that.
Not accounting for
I have
that,
no
okay.
idea how many have signed up.
300 and some date, like the first couple days shocked me.
So that'll buffer it some too.
Yeah,
That's just crazy.
that's a lot. And then we make about $12 per food box. Just so you guys know, because I know that's been a question before, why are we paying for that? When we pay, we
Mhm.
make money. And that's not why we're doing it. It just happens to be based on the reimbursement rate and the cost. That's what the reimbursement from the state ends up being, but that's all.
That's a lot. That's a large percent.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah. That need the food for the summer, more than.
It hasn't always been that way. has it?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think
I mean, before your.
we were
time.
near that
Last
last
years.
year. Yeah, I mean, COVID, obviously, everybody got them, and that was just a thing, but the last
Say
3,
20
4
ago,
years, we
did
didn't
the
do that.
board have issues with the nutrition lacking?
20 years ago, oh, I don't know.
I don't know, it's always been,
We pay our
what I'm
cooks.
saying is, you know, at certain times in history, certain kids paid.
right.
And so I would have thought that that would have helped offset some of the expense.
Well, we're getting
You always have
reimbursed
such a
now.
Problem, having been a principal, you always, collections.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, they would
there
just
was
leave.
not hundreds, but tens of thousands of dollars that people never
Paid.
paid, and you all had to take them to court, and all
Mhm.
they never did. And you felt bad as a principal. I never denied a kid, but I would
Food,
pay.
yeah.
I would personally pay, and when the parent would come to me, I would say, he said, you're just denying my kid lunch. I said, no, you are. You're not
Yeah.
gonna hang the bill.
Yeah.
But that was always a big hassle, Mr. Hook. And I'm sure, and some of the people that didn't pay would be people, a lot of them were school employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Now our employees all now, they have to prepay, so we don't let that happen. They can't charge anymore because we
Yeah,
would get
it's-
accounts get
I
charged.
remember someone owed
You
between
got 2
$200 and
months
$300.
Oh, yeah, that was,
And it
Low
was-
compared to some
yeah,
of
so-
them.
And
Yeah.
as soon as parents learned that we really weren't going to do anything, if they didn't pay their bill, that ended it. They didn't, I mean,
That's it.
you wouldn't believe what was outstanding. When parents learned that we were still going to feed them, even if they didn't pay their bill.
I don't know if we always counted our employees
Well, and then they
Kitchen
wouldn't
staff
let them graduate.
in that number
If they-
20 years ago.
if
I don't
they
know how that
hadn't paid, they
has
wouldn't let them graduate.
transformed over
They
the
would-
years.
I was gonna ask that, I know the cook salaries are in there, what's the purpose of that? Having them in,
Paid out of that.
Just
Charged to that.
You know where your program stands, I guess,
Total.
all that's associated with child nutrition.
Do you know,
and
So if
that's
you
what
t-
jacks it up a lot,
Yeah.
is having those salaries in there, you know.
Because that's the
Right.
971 that you see down there. So if you would take that out, you'd be to the good 200.
For the summer, signed up for the summer meal boxes?
Sheena,
300, I think it's like 350 some. It was a large number. Yeah, it was a large number.
Well, that is a reflection of our economy. isn't it?
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, that's,
I think it is.
wow. How much of an increase over last year? Do you have any idea?
I don't know exactly, but I know this happened in like the first few days. We had 300 and some, like first 2 days that was immediate.
So people are still.
And I don't
able to
think-
sign up?
Oh yeah, you can sign up all summer. And I don't think by the end of the summer we had anywhere near that amount, but she could go back and check it. But
Well,
I want to say it was like 2 some.
An amazing number.
It's a lot.
Wow.
Well, I think some of them get it and don't like it, and then they don't get it anymore.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to
Because
pull
it's all-
off.
Shelf-stable stuff.
Society has changed, like I said, we give, I mean, look what schools do now that we didn't have when we were in schools in the
Oh, yeah.
60s and
The needs are very
I
different.
went in the 50s, but the 60s, some of the others may, but you know,
Mhm.
nothing was free. You
Right.
got nothing free.
But
You
I
know,
think
they
you
didn't pack their
probably also
lunches for the
have-
weekend and
You probably also had a
get
lot
free
more
book
kids
bags
eating
and
as well.
crayons and stuff. If you didn't have them,
Right.
your parent, you
More
didn't,
kids
you know,
eating probably.
We didn't
You had a
have- we didn't have
community-
them.
They got-
Yeah,
like a coffee jar full
Yeah.
of broke up crayons and stuff, you know.
You've also lost your nuclear family. So, I mean, you don't have, in most homes, moms, dads
Yeah,
work,
right.
taking
Exactly.
care,
And
mom
that's-
would stay home, take care of the family. I'm not saying that's how it should be. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that was very common. So
Probably
you
in the
had a
70s
support
is when they
system.
really started to
Now you have
change
grandparents raising
more
kids
than
and
50s and 60s.
maybe one parent at
It's
home. For
society.
many, it's
You don't have the,
60 some
Well,
percent
this-
divorce rate.
in the 70s that Medicaid started. Or in
Mhm.
the late 60s, early 70s, because I was working as a pharmacy as a in a drugstore. And I can remember hand billing, we had to hand bill everything, hand billing prescriptions and stuff, and they weren't gonna do it at the store I worked at. And I said, oh, we're gonna have to. We didn't have a lot of Medicaid, but the ones that we did, you know, you didn't wanna send them away.
Sure. Sure.
So, but yeah, it had just come in.
So the next page shows that revenue amount through the end of April. The next page behind that shows the year-to-date expenses through April, and then the number beside it, that 718,000 is the encumbrance. And then it shows the claim amount for April, just so you can see where I got that amount. Behind that, I ran the special projects worksheet, so you can see the 1,986, the 2,387, the 62,000, and the 83,000 that's there to make those adjustments on the program. And then behind that shows the salaries that are in there.
So how many, how many are in there?
All of them.
Number.
She wants to know how many cooks we have.
Well, and we have cook one, cook two, cook three. I don't need to know those broken out, but.
I don't know the
that's
exact
it.
number,
That's all we
probably
have
I
are
mean, I'm
just
sure there's
cooks, right?
18 to 20.
Or 21,
20 or 21.
I'd say.
Somewhere around that. Yeah, I mean, you have 6 schools. and you have
Some
at least
some have
3.
4.
Yeah, 2 or 2.5. Might be a little under 20. It might be 18.
I think.
Is it average?
So we have a cook custodian.
No, we do not have a cook custodian.
The workers' comp code is the same for cooks and custodians. So that
Okay.
that's.
So
that
it's for the
264.
cooks, not actually the custodian.
Right, so that 264 code that you see there is
Uh-huh.
workers' comp for cooks and custodians.
The minus sign after it means, after the number,
Where do you see a minus sign?
the minus sign, well,
Under the budget available.
Oh, yeah, that's 'cause it's. there
She's
is
taking
money
it
in
out.
certain areas. It would be overspent, so it's in the negative.
oh, okay. And rather than parentheses, I thought my opinion said.
Yeah, that would, yeah. The system doesn't do parentheses.
Are the high tunnels gonna make any significant difference in expenses?
I would
Never.
doubt it very seriously, just because you're not going to mass produce anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I was produce, I added up the produce this time on the invoices, almost $10,000 worth of produce. With a lot of lettuce.
I remember they planted all that cabbage over at East Hardy in that field. Remember that?
Mhm.
And they were gonna sell it. Oh yeah, sell it to the prisons. They feed and give them cabbage all the time.
I mean, I like cooked cabbage.
So
I do too,
Like
but
coleslaw.
not every day.
I'll be able to eat cooked cabbage.
keep it
That's all you
clean.
had, you'd eat it.
Yeah,
Instead
I'd
of
get a
not to
real
go to
taste
prison.
for it.
Healthy,
wouldn't I?
yeah. Yeah, don't go to prison. Make better decisions if you don't like cabbage.
But I don't think we ever sold a single head. I think they all got cabbage worms. And, you know, you can't spray for them. You have to pick them off.
Yeah,
And,
equipped
Most of that was waste.
to garden very
oh,
well.
yeah, rotted in the field.
Maybe fed the deer.
I guess they would probably eat cabbage, but
I'm sure
They
they
didn't
would. Or
go-
They
rabbits.
didn't eat
they
all
didn't
of
eat
it.
that, no, they didn't eat that with the beer.
If you flip to the next page, that shows the revenue for child nutrition this year. And you'll see, decreased a little bit our projection. I mean, I think it's probably 9,000, but the projection there, 4 rows down, the 731,365 is our projected cost to cover this upcoming year. Flip to the next page, and that's the expenses budgeted for child nutrition. We'll see that they budget, or they balance to that $2,147,142. And behind that is the budget that we actually had to complete and submit to the State Department of Child Nutrition. I circled the amount down there so you can see that what we actually budgeted in Weavis matches what we actually had to budget in there. So I don't know why everybody has a difference.
System, that all has to be the same numbers and the same.
Budgeting in all three places.
budgets.
But anyway,
So 2 million is what we're spending on child nutrition.
2 million plus.
and like you said, that does include the salaries.
Right.
And I think they do that just because they want to be a true statement of what the child nutrition program does cost. And, you know, obviously cooks are going to be a part of that. And by covering it, by making that match, whatever our contribution is, you know, we're making it whole at the end. So whether we pay for their salaries out of the
Well,
general
right,
fund or
right.
theirs,
Well, money's money, it all comes out.
it all washes
And
out.
just,
But that would be my guess, is that they just want to see the true,
Okay.
like, what does it truly cost the
Actual
state to run a child?
that's something the
nutrition
State
program?
Department wanted to show the salaries in
That's what
that.
they have it set, yeah, we have
Okay.
to do it that way.
Well, that makes sense.
And I'm assuming that would be why.
Right.
And, you know, so then when they compare it county by county, or however they're looking
Apples
at
and
it,
apples.
yeah, they can kind of see that. And the page behind that shows, what the projected reimbursements for, lunch, breakfast, and snacks will be for this upcoming year. Not much of an increase.
What's this here out
It
of
definitely
county?
won't match
The meal per diem,
Oh, are you under 6?
travel? Oh, okay,
You're under
I'm
6.
sorry.
Before we start 6, can we take just a short break?
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes, just so we can use the restroom and just to pause for just a second.
Sounds like
All right, I'm gonna Okay.
Okay, in, section 6, I took a look there at the meal per diem and travel. Now, there is no separation out for meal per diem versus travel, like there's no project code or no object code for meals specifically, it's all considered travel. So what I looked at for the last 2 years and then current year, which of course, current year was through, now I did do it through, when I ran the reports, I ran them through the day that I ran them, which I think was May 27th. So there might be a little bit more that lingers through, but it really shouldn't be much because all the travel should be over.
Mhm.
I mean,
Very,
we're
very
done
soon.
with travel for the year. So I looked at, we have an object code for in-county, an object code for out-of-county, and then an object code for just gasoline. So not diesel with the buses, but the gasoline that operates our vehicles. Now, however, that would also take into account the maintenance trucks and stuff like that. It's gonna be in this as well, from where they're fueling up, also. So if you look at, FY 24, for that year, the in-county travel was $12,747. The out-of-county travel was $22,597. And then the gasoline purchases during the year was $20,633. For a total of $55,978. If you look at FY 25 for the year, you can see the different line items down through there. That total $58,391. And then so far this year through May 27th, it totals $52,322.75. Now, that is not gonna include any of the ones that we pay for transportation, like payments in lieu of a child riding the bus. Those are not in here. This is just staff.
Trainings, conferences.
Trainings, conferences, like Tony driving from school to school in his, van.
So robotics airline tickets for, that's not in this,
No.
not this, okay, not this, okay.
Like filling up the maintenance in like Tony's vehicle and child nutrition, like her driving from the
School to
schools, like,
school,
all of
okay.
that stuff is gonna be back and forth, I'm sorry.
Sarah Vetter.
Yes, all the teachers, there,
Jamin.
back and forth, all of that's gonna be in here.
I don't guess you know how many students we pay in lieu of not
Um,
riding the bus, do you? I'm
I
just
could
curious.
probably find that.
Well,
pretty
it's
quick.
not important now, no,
I'm sure
just,
Barbie had.
yeah, just sometime. I'm just
Yeah.
curious how many we do that with now.
It's not many.
Sure, no, I was gonna say a
I
handful,
wanna say like,
2 or 3?
Yeah.
I think I see maybe 2 different names.
Yeah, it's not like,
Yeah,
we used to
it's-
have a few more, but
Yeah, it
it's
used to
not
be like
very,
5 or 6, I think, but I think right now it's only like 2 or 3.
That's good.
Now, of course, we do get a portion of that back as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Does any of the other in-county or out-of-county come back from the state? Are we get any reimbursement for any of that?
only if students are involved, right?
It has to be transportation. And then behind that is just the backup for that, so you'll see the travel in county. And of course, that has the columns on it for FY 24, FY 25, and FY 26. The next sheet is the travel out of county, which has the columns for 24, 25, and 26. And then the last sheet there is the gasoline purchases for the columns 24, 25, and 26. Just so you can see where those numbers came from.
It'll be interesting to see the gasoline for the next go round.
Anyone have any questions there? To the next section, this just looks at current personnel. So, the total certified list, when we, completed the certified list in October, between the student support personnel, the professional educators, and the service personnel, we were a total of 8.19 over. We have hired 4 positions that are not recognized on the certified list. So I've added those 4 positions there. And for this upcoming year, our funding for CIS is dropping to about 50%. So we currently have 6. So really that's like having 3 more positions added since we're only gonna have funding to cover 50% of those employees. So that would make our total, in theory, going forward, of course, that's also gonna depend on enrollment. But just based off of that, we would be looking at being approximately 15.19 over funding formula. During the year, we lost a special education aide at MES, a special education aide at MHS, and a science support specialist that we will not have going forward into 27. However, those 3 positions were paid out of 161, so that does not count towards our certified list funds. We will also not have the clerk position at Northwood High School. Now, that was paid out of Fund 11, so that's one position that we're down there. However, during the year, we also hired a special education teacher at East Hardy Elementary School and a 5th grade teacher at MIS. So that adds 2 back. So we would be at 16.19.
Are you talking about we're hiring the 5th grade teacher for next year?
Yes, it's for next year.
Okay, okay.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
that's okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something.
What are the 4?
Well, I wasn't sure if I guess I was just meaning it was after we did the certified list. So
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
don't have,
realize it was.
it's just for next year, right?
I
Yeah,
don't
not
know.
current. I think it's just for next year. We
Okay.
have one that'll be posted for next year.
What are the 4 positions not recognized? What are those? You know?
Your OT folks,
Oh,
for
okay.
whatever reason, and we've talked about, we actually at the last conference had talked about why some of these positions, like for instance, mine's like treasurer position, it's
Right.
not that it's not recognized, it's just one that says that you have to have
Right.
it and it can't be paid with state aid funds.
Okay.
So we had even talked about that one, like, you're saying this position has to be there, but you're
But you
getting
can't fund
zero
it.
funding towards this position. Like the OT is something that's being mandated that we provide for good reason, that we provide for students, but yet it's not recognized
Okay.
as a position. So it's the 2 OT, the psychometrist position, and then the tech, Tony's position, for whatever reason.
I have a question about personnel. Ben Wolf, who is paid to the Epic, does he count on our,
He's not our employee, no.
okay? And then somewhere in the.
It doesn't count, but it still comes out of our funding.
Right, it's not our.
But we get,
It does not-
but we get reimbursed through through our
get
transportation,
reimbursed for that
95% for that one, because it's
position.
contracted for transportation, yeah.
And I thought I had listed it, oh, I do. Also for Epic Behavioral and OT Mentor. Who is that and does that person count? How does that person count for us? It said on page 36 of the invoices, Epic, and it listed behavioral and OT mentor. A salary of $1,724 for the month on that invoice. And I just wondered. who
Oh,
that was.
oh,
that
Jeff,
was.
I know.
Who that
It's,
was.
that's Jeff,
Yeah.
Hopkins. That is the guy that we're paying through Epic to come in to work with our self-contained classroom at Moorfield Elementary School with our teachers there. He's the behavioral specialist that's coming in to help train them and to work with them.
Okay, but he's not.
He's contracted through Epic. We have
Anything
to,
that's through Epic is not our employee.
Okay.
Yeah.
But him specifically, the funds that we are using to pay for that is that mentor, teacher, leader pot of money that we have that has to be spent on items such as that.
Mhm. Because he's
So
not
it's
working
not
with
coming-
kids, he's working with our staff.
So it's not coming out of general funds.
Well, on the notes. That's good.
So that list is every county employee, not just service or professional.
The certified list, it does list every
I mean,
person.
custodian.
Yes,
Mhm.
everybody,
I
yeah.
thought so.
And then what it mainly looks at, you list everybody and then you look at the funding source. So what we typically look at is funding like general fund 11, like what's being paid out of there, because that's where most that's being paid out of Fund 61, you're getting the funds from somewhere. Like the title program is paying for title teachers, special education is paying for the aides, they're being paid out of that, so they're not really looked at in the over formula piece, because their funding is coming from the designated source. So when we just look at the current personnel here, we're just looking at all the personnel that's paid out of Fund 11.
So any of the overage then comes out of the general fund.
Yes,
Say that again.
Any of the overage comes out of our general fund money.
Right.
Not a, so those 16 people were over.
Is that total or just professional?
that's total.
What would be the cost of those 16 people ballpark? Yeah.
I mean, you're,
420,000.
oh, it's more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, 50,000 would be lowballing it, I'm sure.
That's
That
what I
would be-
was thinking.
That would be 600, that'd be almost 600,000 there. So,
Right.
I mean,
Probably
you're
750.
at least probably 750, 800, somewhere there, between 750 and $1 million.
Plus the other columns, so you're looking at $1 million near.
Because it's gonna depend on whether do they have health insurance?
Right.
Do they have family? Do they not
Yeah,
have
right.
any, so it's hard to, but yeah, just,
Have to have a lot of riff years next spring.
and I don't know how you do that, because I mean, honestly, we're pretty bare bones. I mean, I know it has to be done, but I'm just.
Well, yeah,
saying,
you
it's not
can't.
like we're not a
No,
county that has all this excess. So it's gonna be tough.
Assistant principal. Do one patient.
I have a plan. We'll go through here in a little bit.
So if you flip to the next.
Lady with the plan, that's what we want.
I got one.
She's always got-
I got a plan.
If you flip to the next page, it just.
Kind of
shows
like,
you
I'll write you a check.
yeah.
data.
You might have to.
I got it. Yeah, I might.
That just shows you where I got the numbers. You add those three together, you get to the
You
total
shouldn't be.
of 8.19.
Smack him in the face.
If you flip to the next page, that's our enrollment. And I don't know how soon we would know about pre-K numbers as far as, actually not pre-K, but how many of the pre-K students will be coming to kindergarten, like when we would actually know those kindergarten numbers. So the class size that we are losing in our 12th graders graduating is 159. And I honestly don't know what we typically gain between pre-K and kindergarten. If you're looking at having about the same amount coming in, or if it's gonna be a little bit less or a little bit more, I'm not sure. But that's where our enrollment was.
And I don't see anything here counting those kids who are at the Head Start. Are any of those?
They're counted in our pre-K.
Oh, okay. They're counted more for the elementary then.
Yeah, I think the two classes are more for elementary.
They're considered enrolled at Morph Elementary.
So that's
Did I miss?
the
Enrollment?
difference between, assuming all the pre-K kids get moved to kindergarten. It'd be 25 short of what we're graduating.
It would be 25 short, but typically there's more students that come to kindergarten.
Right, that didn't do
the
go to
pre-K.
Right,
and
so you're
I didn't
banking on
know
that.
What the average is with that.
I don't know either.
We might,
And
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was saying. I don't know when we usually have kindergarten numbers.
I mean, parents enroll them all the way up till 2 weeks before school. I mean, we try to get them early enrolled, but
yeah.
you're still going to be trickling in come, August.
Next
You'll have a
year's
good idea.
183, that's a big
Yeah,
class too.
Yeah, I would think that this upcoming year, we're probably gonna be pretty similar. But next year's gonna, I would imagine, gonna drop 15, 20 students.
Unless you have a crazy number of
Unless
kids
you would happen-
enrolling.
Right, unless you would happen to have another.
Unless your ESL population.
Well, and you have to remember COVID was 2020. And so this will be 6, 7. I mean, you might be getting a bigger batch of the COVID because folks were off for 2021. If you're looking at babies that were born in 21, I mean, that's a legitimate thought. Everybody was home. It's like when you have a blizzard, you usually get a bump of about 5 to 10 kids. You got COVID, everybody was home for 2021, and fingers crossed they spent their time wisely, I guess is what I'm saying. Investing in our future.
What has the most births, Dr. Van Meter?
What was the question?
What month has the most births?
Is it September?
So December.
Holidays.
Holidays and snowstorms.
May has the
Take what we can get.
We'll pay for that, so.
That's what my wishful thinking is.
Influx of COVID babies.
We do.
The next I did, all of the personnel that you guys usually like to look at. I wasn't sure if you wanted to go over that again or not. We have the coaches, athletic trainers, or athletic directors and trainers, pay scales.
When was that ever been changed? 30 years ago?
No, it's been sooner than that.
A couple of years ago, probably.
It's been
We
sooner.
did-
They still make, it's not.
You don't
You
love
look
what
at-
you- if you don't love what you're doing, you're not doing it. Come on.
it's
Yeah,
not all
we-
that, no. Well,
We did a little bit of stuff to it, nothing crazy.
Yeah, we added robotics and,
see, what was the name?
Archery.
mhm.
But I don't know that we actually adjusted the salary.
The only thing that I remember significant that we did was if you weren't an employee, you got a percentage based upon your level of education. Because remember, we had people that were employees getting percentages of their salaries and people that were working in the same positions that weren't school employees that were just getting the flat rate.
Mhm.
So we added, like, if you have a master's degree, if you don't work for us, you get an average of that salary as your percentage to make it comparable across the board. But that's the only thing I remember. Because if you didn't have a degree, they put you on the service
In West
scale.
Virginia, you wouldn't pay your gas. It would be,
So the next couple sheets just show those positions for Norfolk High School, Norfolk Middle School, East Hardy High School, and East Hardy Middle as well. And the grades.
Is that pretty similar to Green County's coaches or? I know Pelican County's even worse than ours, or it used to be.
Last year, I don't know if you guys still have your binders from last year, but I
Yeah.
put
Put
the
'em all
ones in
in
there
there.
from Grant County, Pendleton, I think I had.
Pelican's less.
Hampshire's
I think I had
maybe?
Another county or two that we put in there as well. I think I
Green's pretty
pulled some
similar.
from down in the
Southern.
central and southern part of the state too,
Mhm.
that we looked at last year. And it was a mix. Some counties that you thought would be a lot more weren't.
Yeah, there
Other
was.
counties that you didn't think would were.
Well, you know, I figure probably your Monongalia, Berkeley, Putnam, towns like that probably pay decent, but you know, if you get in Gilmer and Braxton, Wirt, it's probably not as good as ours.
Yeah.
Well, that Grant and Hardy's are pretty much, Pendleton used to always be less than that.
I mean, I can pull those again if you guys want to see them at some point.
I said that I gives them good for money. And even if you think of AD, you see 5,000, but you consider your time,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. Especially now with all the additional sports.
And I mean, we've talked about that before, like a solution for that, even the, like trainer. Because if you think about what we can actually pay a trainer and they have to be there every home football game, every home football practice. I mean, that's a lot of time.
That is a lot of time.
I don't know a solution. I know a lot of counties will split the AD position, so they might have.
Different sports, yeah.
Right, they might, so one person's not going to every home girls basketball game, every home boys basketball game, every home, like volleyball game, every.
And at one time with some of your lesser sports, like volleyball and stuff, but it's got to become pretty competitive anymore. You know, you could almost get by with that one, but not anymore. You better have someone.
That's just it. Something goes wrong. You don't want to not have somebody there.
So if you flip on through there, you'll come to the administrators, the principals, the assistant principals, central office, professional and service. Anyone has any questions about those? Anyone has any questions there? Section 8 is just an overview of the debt balances. The field lights, the last payment is coming up in July. The Apple devices, we have 2 payments remaining on that. And we will make the first payment on the energy performance contract this December.
Are you under 8? Okay, I have things I need to do in personnel. I don't know if you want to do that now or if you want to do that at the end, whatever works best because with your flow.
It doesn't, I just had, I think on the.
Let's just do it at the end.
was number
Okay.
9.
That sounds good then. That's good. I didn't know if it mattered if we were
The
in
way she-
particular order.
Perfect.
Perfect.
You just want to do that?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Completely fine with me. Yeah, sounds good.
So when are the field lights, when do we pay that?
July. The last payment will be in July.
And the Apple devices?
There's 2 payments.
For 2 more years, this year, next year.
This upcoming year, so 27 and 28.
Yeah.
It's behind here, let me see. I don't know exactly when.
And those are general funds.
It's been on. Those are real.
So the lights would be paid off in 2026 or 2027.
School year 27, calendar year 26.
This upcoming school year.
In 2 months.
Yeah.
you Write a check.
So that'll help you some
And we'll also
with
make
next year's.
payment in
Yeah.
July for another year of the Apple devices. That will be in July as well, 25th.
Right.
Which she already has.
27, but
Mhm.
Yes. And yeah,
So
those- all
26
three
and
of those are
20,
budgeted into this upcoming budget.
so the Apple devices are 26 and 27?
In 28,
Yes.
26, 27.
We've already
27,
made the
28.
payment, we've already made the payment for 26.
So
We will
we
have
have
a-
27 and 28 remaining?
Right.
Okay.
And that breakdown is behind there, you'll be able to see that.
And the
Dates.
energy performance contract starts in 28
And then it
This year,
starts this December.
26, 27.
in December
December
A
will be
year
the
from
first
when we
payment.
signed. Yep.
of 2026
Yes.
for 15 years, right?
For 15
Mhm.
years.
How many of us will be around in 15 years?
Not me.
Not me.
Oh, you mean, I don't mean that way. I'm not saying.
I'm hoping around, not necessarily.
turned
board
83,
member, but-
I mean, I'll be around, but I'm not gonna be here.
Yeah, I don't want to be one.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
18 again.
A few days ago.
83.
You'd be
98. Yeah, 98. Don't want to be.
Well, it'd be okay if you could still get around like you are now and have your mind, but otherwise.
That's a lot to ask.
And And this was well, it was, no doubt, the hardest I've had budgeting, getting the budget to balance with maintaining that 3% that the state says that we have to maintain.
3%, you said?
3%. Yeah.
But they want you to have 5.
Yeah. I think 3%.
How many
They'd
counties
like you to have
It was
12,
at
wouldn't it?
10%.
How many
16.
counties,
Oh, they want you to have 10.
how many counties actually reach that goal?
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even.
Doddridge
know
and
you-
Taylor.
Mon wouldn't be there, but I mean, if anybody, it would probably be Tyler or
Doddridge.
Wetzel or Doddridge.
Fracking,
Um,
fracking.
and I'm not even sure that they're there. But they would probably be the only ones that
Closest.
are close to the 10%.
You could be if they wanted to be.
We used to have those lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos for you, though.
They have all of those.
We give you raises
Facilities,
right now,
all
we're
of that
financially,
stuff that they.
we give you a raise right now, we're financially strapped. We appreciate it. You look so good in gold blue. Round.
Mr. Hines.
So when are we starting to see some energy savings from our energy savings
They actually
contract?
they emailed out a couple weeks ago and said that we should start seeing it.
On the water end, for
on the
sure,
water
yeah.
end.
Mhm. Soon, in the next
the
couple of billing
electric,
cycles, and
yeah.
keep an eye on it. But they do that annually. She said once everything was finished, they would try to give us quarterly savings reports. But they're not completely finished
You
with
said
everything yet.
They pay us if they don't meet a certain,
Yes, so if we don't save enough, at least enough to complete, or to make the complete payment for the lease, if they can't show us, so we've saved that much in energy costs, they make a check out to us for the difference. And then, I mean, in the end, if that works the way it does, you're at a net zero, so you're canceling out any expenses based upon that savings, but we're also making a little bit of money because we have that interest-bearing account with that money in it that we're, that 200,000, that'll be 320, I think you had it calculated at. So we're also making a little bit on the side there with that too. But that's not incorporated in any of the savings, like they don't
And
count
won't
that.
continue.
It's,
Once
right,
all
once it's
that
gone,
money-
it's gone,
once we
but-
pay- Once we have drawn down all that money, which I assume will be around December when.
Yeah, we have to make those payments.
Because
Yeah.
the money will be gone.
but we're making it while we can.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
It's still
I was very shocked.
$300,000.
They said that typically it's split between, but, Grant County Bank did agree to let us have.
Keep it all, which was great.
Um,
they're changing their name.
Highlands.
Yeah,
Bank,
they're going to Highlands, Highlands Bank.
Grant County Bank?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't like changing.
I was there,
Mhm.
Get
That's right, for said changes.
More they grow, nobody wants to keep it themselves together, you want to. Shop at Grant County Bank.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did not account, so there might be some of that in the budget because I did not cut expenses by $533,000. So even though I budgeted the $533,000 payment that we were gonna have to make, I did not cut, like I dropped the electricity down some and I dropped the water
Oh,
bill down
But
some.
not by that
But
much.
I did not drop it down by 533,000 because I wasn't sure where,
When it would start and where do you start calculating and, right,
yes, and all that. So
that's fair.
there's probably some buffer there, which is a good thing.
Mhm.
But overall-
Surprised.
Let's see, she's missing a whole bunch of time again this year, like she did
Mhm.
last year. She goes to those horse
You are what you
shows.
think.
Has she turned her resignation in?
You have to.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's going on there.
So then 9 was what I had coded as potential upcoming expenses and potential excess levy. But we're gonna talk about that at the end, right?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
And then 10, I just had set aside as a follow-up to your all's most recent meeting. I don't know if there were any questions about some of the items that was discussed. I think there was some discussion about the printouts that are handed out in my monthly meetings. So I went to the Zoom site, and printed out what is off of their site. So if you would rather have this printout, we can surely do that. There is no bank reconciliation on that site or balance sheet. But however you guys want. And I was also told by the state that depending on what browser you use, there's glitches in that system, so it might not be exactly accurate. And if you'll see, I put mine,
Behind
if you
you.
flip through to the 4th page, I put my monthly expenditure by object report in here and circled the money, like the funds remaining at that point was 2,110,000. And if you flip to the next page and look at what they had, it was 2,108,000. Now, $2,000 off isn't a huge, but I don't like when it's off.
But the 2108 is from the Zoom
That's
site?
from their site. So
Okay.
they paid something that's not, I don't know how it happens.
So you guys can decide, Sarah's giving you what's required to be given to you for approval every month in a different format, so you can decide if you
Yeah.
want it to look differently,
I
basically.
mean, I'm kind of used to this stuff.
I like what you've been doing.
I
Yeah.
did too,
Very straightforward.
and only
We're
use one
used
sheet of
to it.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
and I give you
I don't wanna look
guys,
at 5 years.
I don't either.
I give you guys the balance, the bank reconciliation, which I would think would be one of the most important pieces, because that shows you where we stand as far as what we have remaining in the bank. And that everything reconciles out and we're not off,
Yeah.
other than my penny that seems to keep being off.
The elusive penny.
We're off 3 cents, aren't we?
It's one cent here, one cent there, one cent
Yeah.
down here, and I have no
I'm keeping
idea.
track.
Got you.
3 cents.
I took 3 pennies.
I see no point in changing.
But, or, I mean, I will gladly go on there each month and print this out and give it to you as well, and you can compare, I can still do my sheet.
No.
Do you think any one of us is gonna do that? Honestly?
Well, a lot of this isn't really, it's not the, like, it talks about the percentages of what's been used and what
It's
hasn't.
too much.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
It's too
difference.
much information.
And I like the way Vita had these set up, at least going through and printing the reports and me inputting the information in here, I'm seeing it like twice. So then when I look at this and I'm like, why is it that much? Or why is it that, like you're kind of,
Double checking
you're double
yourself.
checking yourself and if you see something that does look unusual.
Well, this way we've got used to understanding.
Yeah, and I mean, I can always go through here and change some of the captions, like under object 100 and some 100 and 200 and 300, because some of them, I could make them more detailed if that would help, because some of them aren't.
You always
probably as-
explain on those.
I try to go through and kind of explain what all they cover. But if there's any changes there that you guys want, just let me know. We can change that going forward. If there were any other questions or discussions associated with that meeting or anything that's come up that anybody wants to discuss.
No.
we can
Thank you,
put
thank you,
that
thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I'd
They're
say
amazing.
let's
Or if
just
there's
stay
any,
the,
or if there's any other pieces of information.
well, they act like, when they told us about that, they act like there was stuff that we were never saying.
There probably are counties in the state that are not getting, I would say that they're not getting a monthly update, just from what I hear, and I would say that some are not getting that. Would be my guess. Are you finished with everything on your
That's
end?
everything that I have.
Can we go into executive session, please? I'd like to go into executive session because I have a personnel plan.
Personnel consideration.
Have a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss personnel. All those in favor? Opposed? And we're in executive session at 3:24.
A good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Are you-
Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to come out of executive session after extended personnel, discussion at 4:24. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
I don't know how long we were in there. Does anybody remember what time we went in? I didn't write that down. She'll figure it out. It's in the recording. All right, I guess we can adjourn, right?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
25.
Did better that time than I did before, didn't I?